and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is the founder and CEO of Jebeh Cultural Consulting. Other than Miss Jebeh Edmunds. Welcome, Miss Jebeh, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Thank you so much, Mr. Lucas. I'm Jebeh Edmunds, founder and CEO of Jebeh Cultural Consulting. And our goal and mission is to provide multicultural resources for educators and community and business leaders, all on cultural competency.
Miss Jebeh Edmonds, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. And today let's talk about building cultural responsive classrooms strategies that work. So tell us, Miss Jebeh, we often see classroom with flags and famous figures, but what does it truly mean to move from multicultural decoration to deep, authentic cultural responsive in daily practice?
Yes, what that means to do more than just the decorations is having the building of relationships with your students. I was a classroom teacher for 18 years when I stepped out to pursue this business full time. And with my students, we would have morning meetings and we would share about our cultures. And cultures is not just race and ethnicity, it's way of life, it is ability, it is family structure, it is traditions. And so students and I would gather up every morning before we started our lessons for the day and would go around in the circle and share, whoever would feel comfortable. So that was something that was really important for students to get to know each other more than just the surface level of this is my classmate. We also did and brought in research studies of countries around the world as well. So students had project based learning, learning about cultures either of their family origin or a country that they picked. So we did a lot of activities and including organizations in our community to come in and speak with our students, as well as community members to come in and share their perspectives as well.
How does a culturally responsive classroom simultaneously serve as a mirror for students to see their own experience reflected as a window for them to understand and appreciate the experiences of others?
Yes, well, giving them access. I love about your podcast about Books 101. That starts with our classroom libraries of having multiple groups of people featured into the stories that our students are reading. They can see representation of all groups of people, they can see ideas and perspectives as well as voices. So many people think, well, if I have a homogenous group of students, therefore I don't need a diverse library. And that is on the contrary, you do need a diverse library because not a lot of our identities we see with our naked eye. A lot of us carry multiple identities. So that's something that I've been really focused on, getting the tools and the resources for teachers that are already there to make sure that they have the proper access to be responsive. When you're being reactive, that's when things go awry. But to be responsive and proactive is way more efficient and critical.
Be responsive. I
Yes.
like that, Miss
Thank you.
Jebe. Before a teacher can understand their students' cultures, they must understand their own. What are the effective strategies for educators to uncover and examine their own cultural biases and blind spots?
Yes, that's a great question. We do a lot of reflective practices with our company. So, having teachers to go in and just even write down experiences that happened to them in the past when bias incidents had occurred. And we would ask the question of, how did you respond? How did you react? And if you were to go back, would you change what happened before? And then giving them the tools to have resources and books, um, diving in deeply into learning about their own implicit bias and looking at the statistics of how many students of different marginalized groups are, punished to a higher extent than their peers, and to really look at the data to see, what is hindering and harming our students and what they can do to prevent it. Because you're right, Daniel, there's a lot of implicit bias and blind spots that a lot of educators have. In Minnesota, we have over 90% of our teachers are white women. And so a lot of that not knowing the cultures that you're teaching and learning about it also is a hindrance of the families and the communities that you're serving.
Miss Jebe, how can understanding a cultural norms around communication help teachers reinterpret student behavior are not a disrespectful but a culturally different?
Yes, that is really good. I feel like to understand your students communicatively, you have to first and foremost introduce yourself into that family or the cultural group. So many times we only call when it's a behavior issue and not something that's a positive thing. So, the first things you could do, especially looking at your roll call sheet in the beginning of the year, or if you have a new student and you have trouble pronouncing that student's name, to call the grown up and ask the grown up before the student comes into your classroom how to effectively pronounce the student's name, and then go even further. And if you could
And
get
ask the grown
more
up before the
information
student comes
about
into your classroom
where
how
that
to
student is from
effectively
originally
pronounce the
is
student's
really
name,
helpful.
and then go even further.
It's
And,
really
if
helpful,
you could
helpful
get.
indeed.
Thank you.
And Miss Jave, on curriculum and pedagogy, what
Mhm.
does a practical step-by-step process look like for a teacher to audit their existing curriculum, lesson plan, and
Mhm.
text for cultural inclusivity and representation?
Yes. Oh, there's so many wonderful resources out there, like Gloria Ladson Billings. Another friend of mine, Nita Creekmore, she has a book called Read Outside Your Bubble. Another good one of how to expand your existing curriculum, especially in literacy. You really dive deep into thinking about what group of people are missing in the narrative that you're learning, what group is spotlighted on or highlighted the most, and how can we infuse those groups of people that aren't into the curriculum. So teachers are going to have to do some extra digging, but it's not too hard once you figure out what's missing and what pieces that we can include in our lessons. And that's something that a lot of us educators are trained to do, is to look for multiple sources, and of voices, firsthand articles that they can infuse in their classroom. And you don't have to think that it's only a older elementary to middle school and high school group. You can do this with our primary students as well, and introduce text and experiences for them.
Miss Cheve, in a subject like history or science, how
Hmm.
can intentionally introduce multiple perspectives and honor non-Western contributions without making them seem like a mere add-on?
Yes. I think what you could do is, especially for science, for example, when I was teaching fifth grade in our science project, we were talking about the Native American story of the three sisters, which was beans, corns, and squash, to that effect, to see why gardens really work together with these particular seeds and how they depend on each other to grow and harvest. And I think when you are working in history and sciences, to find people in history that were there at critical events in our history timeline. Find people that are contributors to what they're learning, inventors of all walks of life. And there's so many things, even in mathematics, of famous mathematicians or well known people or unknown heroes that you might not have learned about before that are from different groups.
Miss Jebe, on building community and relationships, what are specific relationship building rituals or activities can implement in the first week of school to signal to very student you belong
Yeah.
here and your story
Yes.
matters?
Yes. Oh, I would do like a little spoon, like a big wooden spoon that I would, kind of put some glitter on it. And that was our sharing spoon. So that would give everybody a chance to share something special about themselves. Another thing you could do the first week of school is to have students kind of pick out a game that they would like to teach us in the classroom. And what I would do so students wouldn't feel that they were on the spot, I would have a blank calendar and students would voluntarily put their name on a calendar day so that they knew what day that they were going to share something special. Another thing is really fun when we would do quiet writing time or reading time. I would play music from different regions around the world so they could hear a zither or even a flute from an instrument from around the world so they could hear and then look on the map of where those instruments are from. Another fun thing I used to do, I would have all the flags around the world. And that would be kind of a scavenger hunt where I would give them a playing card to look for and locate the flag that's displayed in the classroom. And then the student would have to give one fact about that country. And so that was a lot of fun. The students really enjoyed that the first part of the year.
Lots of fun for sure, and thank you for
Yes.
that, Miss Jebe.
Yes.
Many families from non-dominant cultures feel unheard or unwelcome in schools. What are the keys to moving from parent-teacher conferences to genuine two-way family partnership?
Yes. Oh, good question. I think the biggest thing is to know as the parent that you are the expert of your child. And the teacher that is teaching your child is the facilitator and a partner. And they want to do the best that they can to make sure your child is the most successful that they can be. And the biggest thing I would say when you have the meet and greet in the beginning of the school year, make sure you let the parent know your best form of communicating. If English is not your first language, you can always ask that teacher if they could translate it in your home language so you have the news and announcements, accommodating you so you have the correct information in regards to your child. Another thing, too, when it's parent teacher communication, is to don't be afraid to ask questions. I feel like some of our families had really traumatic um, experiences in their childhood and growing up in the school system, and they might feel discouraged with their own child coming in. And so, definitely seek out the parent advocates that are in your building to help you ease that anxiety and help walk you through being that advocate to help you with your child in the classroom as well. So look for those parent advocates, parent teacher organizations. They meet for free after school, and just to help be involved. And even if you can't be there physically, if there's a way that you could meet virtually or on the phone, teachers can make it work if you can set it up ahead of time.
Miss Jebeh, as the founder and CEO of Jebeh Cultural Consulting, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Oh, my short term goals is to continue to share my platform. I have a YouTube channel, Mrs. Edmunds Cultural Corner, and I have lots of book reviews on there for families to look for and teachers to find. And I also have a long term goal of creating my own novella series. I just launched my first debut novel. It comes out in 2 weeks, The Orange Blossom.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a fictional story about a Liberian American girl trying to find her purpose in life, and all the things that happen that she has to find her resilience. So, it's good for grown-ups to read on the beach, or you want to cuddle up in these colder temperatures.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. It launches on October 16th, and you can pre-order today
Is
on
it
my
available
website.
on Amazon, Miss?
It will be available on Amazon, yes, on October 16th. And there will be an e-book as well for Kindle on October 16th as well.
Yes. So the Orange Blossom, what is all
Yes.
about?
Oh, it's about love, loss. It's about Liberian culture and market women as entrepreneurs trying to better their lives for their children. And it's just in the midst of Liberia in the late 1970s to the present day. So you're going to see the migration story of people emigrating after the first coup d'etat, and just understanding the African diaspora and experiences there.
So, Miss Jebeh, this is a memoir,
It's not a memoir. It's a, I want to say
a novel.
it's a novel. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of historical fiction, but more of a multicultural literature. Yeah.
So, what are your struggles in writing this book?
Oh, the struggle I had the most in writing, I thought once I finished my first manuscript that it would be it. But my publisher and editor, Heather Wild of Hezime Book Publishing, she had me reiterate 2 to 3 times, of editing. And we did that process together, coming up with scenes, coming up with new scenarios for my characters. So that to me was the hardest part, but the most rewarding part, because it really made me challenge myself and stretch myself even deeper. So yeah, when you start a first manuscript, I just have to remind myself it's not going to be the final project until it's really done. Yeah.
Yes, again, congratulations, and
Thank
hoping
you.
for more and more books like this to come.
Thank you so much.
And for teacher with a little budget, no control over the curriculum, and
Yes.
large class size, what are
Yeah.
one high impact local strategy that can implement tomorrow to start to work?
Oh, yes. Look in what the resources you have in your classroom already. And definitely ask yourself, are multiple perspectives featured in this lesson? And if not, I always say there's lots of free resources out there. I have free lesson plans on my lesson plan store. I even have free tools and strategies on my podcast as well, the Cultural Curriculum Chat. So there's lots of free content there that's short and sweet and doesn't take too much time that you can implement right away in your classroom.
Right away, you can teach
Yes.
our generation to generation
Yes.
to come.
Yes.
And Miss Jebe, can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yes. All right. Well, for my elementary school teachers, Sister Friend, written by Jamila Tompkins Bigelow, um, pictures by Shahrazad Maidani. This is a really good beginning of the school year book of two friends that are Muslim background and just learning about what it takes to feel that sense of belonging. It's a really well written book. And for those teachers that want to work more on their professional development, I mentioned her before, Nita Creekmore, Read Outside Your Bubble. It just looks at auditing your own classroom libraries and getting you the right tools and steps to be more culturally responsive. And she's got lots of more books in this book of what to order for your classroom. And for the workplace, anybody, community members, Inclusion on Purpose, an intersectional approach to creating a culture of belonging at work, written by Rushika Tulsishan, and another great read that's practical, easy to do, and lots of prompts to get you motivated and moving into the right direction.
Thank you for the recommended books, Miss
Yes,
Jebe.
you're welcome,
And
Daniel.
hoping for more and more recommendations coming from you.
Thank you.
So, Miss Jebe, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm
Mhm.
inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast, Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in third season, and my movie 101 review and music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Java, if you could leave educators with one core belief or North Star to guide them in building a truly culturally responsive classroom, what would it be?
Oh, go slow to go far. It feels overwhelming, but you have all that it takes. Your students will be so grateful that you are trying and doing the best that you can. So go slow to go far. That's a big thing. Hmm.
Yes, slowly but surely, and
Yes,
baby step, people, baby
baby steps.
steps. The
Yes.
orange blossom, Miss Jave, when this book will be available to everyone.
Yes, it will be available to everyone this October 16th, 2025.
Yes, so can you give us a little bit preview? How did you crafted this book?
How did I process the book? It
Yes.
was how to purchase the book, pardon?
How did you crafted it?
Oh, how I
What's the
crafted the book. Oh, yes.
yes?
It took 10 years for me to come up with it. It was a story I heard from my mother about a woman who was an orange vendor in Monrovia, Liberia, and her defining her purpose in life. And so I took that idea of trying to find a market woman in the sense of trying to expand on her people that she encounters and how she supports her family. So it's a really great read and very engaging, and lots of plot twists and turns to keep our readers on their toes.
Wow, interesting indeed, Miss Jebeh. Looking forward for more and more empowering books like this to come. So, can you
Yeah.
please invite our listeners to support your upcoming book, your advocacy, or any projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, you can find all of that on my website at jebehedmunds.com.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jebeh because if you support her, for sure, as I said, more and more empowering books like this to come, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Miss Jebeh Edmunds, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate it.
More to come, people. See you soon.